What's going on, everyone? This is Sheets, and I think we're on a couple of other channels for this one. But we're going to do a live lineup build for tonight's slate. So tomorrow is going to have the Millie Maker, and we're going to probably do a live sweat for that one, probably 11 p.m. Eastern, depending on how the slate lays out. So with respect to the pitching, again, I'm going to just kind of run this stuff using SaberSim. So I'll show you guys how to do that. But I have some issues with a couple of these pitchers. I mean, you can make cases against all of them, really. I mean, Skubal's matchup isn't the greatest, although some would consider him matchup proof. DeGrom and Woodruff both have pitch count issues. Scherzer just overall just has kinds of ceiling issues, I think. Then Sanchez, his matchup isn't great. Hunter Green's matchup isn't great. I guess the guy who honestly has the less fleas, so to speak, is Cam Schlittler, right? I mean, doesn't have a pitch issue. He's doing pretty well, and his matchup is good. So I think that strangely he's the most solid of them all. Now, again, as far as projections go, he certainly doesn't hold a candle to some of these other guys, but he's the one that, again, if I show up with him in a lot of SP2s or whatever, I have no problem with that. But that's that. As far as hitting goes, I feel as though Detroit is going to end up getting a little more ownership than might be projected, even though they're kind of expensive. Kansas City is probably going to get owned. I think the Yankees are going to get jammed pretty hard, though. Weather's good, matchup is good, and they're the Yankees, so I think they're going to probably get a lot of ownership. I think the Reds and the Dodgers could be interesting, real super late night hammers. And again, just to kind of throw out this take, I think that that the Pittsburgh pitcher has some volatility, both upside and downside. I think that Oviedo in, say, the knuckleball, if you get 10% of him or whatever, that's not the end of the world. I mean, he does have a high strikeout rate to go along with his high walk rate. So it depends on which one you get. So that's pretty much my takes. And my takes really usually aren't worth all that much. The other thing I guess I would say as far as just pivots go, I think that Minnesota against Scherzer getting direct leverage, that makes a lot of sense. Feel as though, I mean, certainly the Athletics against Skubal, that should go without saying. That's good leverage. And then again, this Texas over Soriano thing kind of intrigues me a little bit. I have this worry that Soriano is going to end up being a little more popular than we would like. So we'll see that. So we have a couple of guys that are out. We'll get to them a little bit later. But let's just run this and see what we get here. So we are using SaberSim, and we are going to use custom projections. This is what I actually put up on TrueDFS tonight. And we're not going to create our own fields because, I mean, I'm really not particularly good at that. We'll eyeball these and see if there's any real big difference between us and SaberSim, between me and SaberSim, and nothing that big of a deal. That's not surprised. And I guess, what else do we want to do? Do we want to limit stack exposure? Sure. Let's only allow 5 3s, 5 2s, 5s, and 4 4s. And then 49,000 looks like a good minimum. And the only question is going to be whether we use the portfolio manager setting or the or just the regular min unique setting. We're going to run it just kind of straight using the portfolio manager setting. And as I've discussed, this type of approach does, I don't want to say result in chalkier builds, but I guess that is the right way to say it. So you do end up, oh, sorry, we don't have the screen share. Thank you very much for pointing that out. There you go. So great. Thank you, YSN. So now you see me actually building it with SaberSim here. And again, the portfolio manager setting, which we're going to get to, does distribute your money in a more efficient way. Well, I would say efficient way, in a smoother way. So what you're not going to get is that high leverage, high ROI jam session, at the top, where you end up getting, say, 40% athletics. Those might end up being the top ROI lineups, but to play too many of them just puts way too much risk in one stack. So that's why a lot of people are starting to use the portfolio manager tools to kind of keep you in the game a little bit longer and hopefully not sacrifice too much upside. According to Sabersim, they have back tested this, and you do actually make more money with these settings than the old Min Uniques 2, Min Uniques 3. But we're going to take a look and see what it looks like here. So we're just going to kind of let it run to the end. You don't see my screen, Jason? You should be able to see it now. If not, then I don't know what else to do, because it looks like it should be shared. But yeah, if someone can just confirm that they can. It's fine now. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to see what we get when we use the portfolio manager setting, and we're also going to see what we get when we go Min Uniques 2. Now there is a big opportunity for late swaps in these late games, so that's something to keep in mind. And we don't even have lineups yet for the Dodgers or the Tigers or the Padres, all of which are firmly in play. So you have this gap between 805 and 940, which you really should take advantage of. But again, just to kind of show you, the differences between what these would look like depending on your settings. We'll see. All right. Let's want to save them first. We'll take a look first. Well, let's take a look first. So team stacks, we'd be getting 23% Yankees, and then 19% Milwaukee. And how about that? 17% Minnesota. So we are getting a certain degree of leverage here, which is something I wasn't anticipating. And then as far as pitching goes, not surprisingly, DeGrom, Skubal, Hunter Green, Woodruff, Schlittler. I don't know. I have worries about the DeGrom ceiling. I have worries about the Woodruff ceiling. I've worried about the Scherzer ceiling. I'm getting any of the Oviedo. I'm getting none of him. No, I'm getting 5% of him. So just as an example, if I use these settings, save all, I'm still getting a decent amount of leverage in these twins. And the only problem is that Scherzer I don't dislike because of his median, just don't like his ceiling. You know what I mean? So I don't know if the Twins are really live to tee off on him, really. I just think that they can withhold, they can stop him from, from smashing. I do, Cam. I have quite a bit of concerns about fatigue for DeGrom, as I always do. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do about it. So just for fun, let's, instead of using this portfolio diversification setting, let's go to good old, let's go Min Uniques 2. And then here, portfolio Min Uniques 2. And then we'll do Min Uniques 2 for everybody. So make sure we have Min Uniques 2 across the board. Just kind of show you the difference in what we'd end up getting depending on your settings. Now you'd still be getting, like, pitching wise, it's not going to be much different. You're actually getting some of the Brad Lord against the Yankees. Yikes. And you're getting 12% of the Oviedo, which is fun, which is kind of fun. And then team stacks, now you're getting all kinds of stuff. You're getting Washington, you're getting Arizona against Woodward, Woodruff, and then the Angels against DeGrom. So I mean, you can still get these leverage builds if you want. It just depends on really what setting you're using. As far as what is correct, again, I will just refer to the SaberSim discussion where they said that you make more money using the portfolio manager tool. So I think I'm gonna stick with that as far as settings go. So the question is whether I want to artificially reduce my DeGrom exposure and my Scherzer exposure, or something like that. I don't know. I just don't know. But let's go back. Let's go back to the portfolio diversification setting. I'll see what that looks like. I think I do want to do that, actually. And again, I don't usually do this kind of thing. But I just feel as though the ceilings of these guys are a little bit thin. So why don't, instead of this, we let's diversify again. So instead of playing all of this DeGrom, why don't we limit it? I just can't do it though. You know what I mean? Like I have to rely on the process here. I just can't put these takes above it, I think. So it's going to be all the DeGrom. Is that the story? You know what we can do? We'll leave it for now. Okay, we'll think about this. Let's go back to FanDuel. And let's see how that changes things. The other thing about the DeGrom play, even though he might have pitch count issues, there's no Trout, I think, in the lineup today, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, we'll confirm that, but I believe that's the case. So that's gotta help. So let's build with FanDuel and see what we get here. Safe to fade Skubal on the late slate? I don't know. I mean, he's the best play. Any Mets love? I guess. Sanchez is solid, but the Mets are good. I think that the way I like to describe it is Sanchez is just good enough of a pitcher to keep me off the Mets, and the Mets are good enough batters to keep me off of Sanchez. Cabrera and Beebe? Okay. Sure, why not? But I do think that this Oviedo thing, I don't know why I'm into this thing, but I do want to get myself some more of the Oviedo. Let's see what FanDuel looks like here. I was going to say maybe I go Min Uniques 2 in the immaculate inning. Philly weak bullpen. Okay, fair enough. And that's why they're probably projecting okay. I have this feeling I'm supposed to play the Dodgers and the Reds, though. I'm also getting the Nationals as kind of some leverage here. And the other thing I could do is I could, fire it as is with all the DeGrom, and then at the end of the day, if I don't like it, I'll just switch it all to green. How about that? And depending on what's going on. So here we're diversifying FanDuel. Let's see what we get here. Team stacks here. Pretty well spread out, actually. KC, Yankees, Detroit. Pitching-wise, I imagine mostly. Wow, they're getting some Schlittler on FanDuel also. That's a little surprising. Hey, 7% Oviedo on Pittsburgh. Let's go. On FanDuel? How's that going to work? Well, that's what I was going to say, Kevin, is that if Hunter Green becomes like the big hipster pivot du jour, and I have like all this Hunter Green going late, I might end up having to play the Dodgers. I mean, Hunter Green is definitely my favorite of the spend ups. I mean, I like Hunter Green and Skubal and Schlittler. Those are my three favorites because they don't have pitch count limits and overall upside. So I actually, if I'm like hand building here, I would say Hunter Green, Schlittler, and Skubal. Those would be my guys. So just what if I did that? What if I did it just for the updated projection? I have no idea what changed. So let's say even for the immaculate inning, what if I X'd out just for fun? What if I got rid of DeGrom? Let's only play I want to play Oviedo too for some reason. Let's just play a portfolio of just these pitchers. Skubal, Schlittler, Green. I just want to see something. And let's hit apply. Now, it's not going to let me do this for all of it, but so I've just had these combinations of Skubal, Schlittler, and Hunter Green. Let's see what type of guys I would get. Oh, it still wants me to play Brad Lord, Cameron, Bryce Miller. Let's literally get rid of all this stuff. Oh, it's FanDuel. Oh, what am I doing? All right, let me go back to DraftKings. Sorry. And if I play like literally the pitchers I like in the immaculate inning, I wonder what that would look like. So let's do this again. Let's do just Skubal, Green, and Schlittler. And I don't, the McGreevy, I guess he's going to look okay, but can't play everybody. And let's just do this. We'll hit apply. Oh, Schlittler didn't. No, I forgot to use him. Sorry. Schlittler I get to use. I want him to. Hey, worst case, if I have too much Skubal and Green together, could always pivot there later. Let's just see what this looks like. Oh, we got to get rid of all these guys, right? Cameron, Senga. What happened to Schlittler? Let's see what it's not letting me do what I want to do here. And usually when you mess around too much with this, and you're not getting anything good, it means that you're being too restrictive and you probably shouldn't play this way. All right, so as I said, this is just basically banging it around, telling you to do something you don't want to do. All right, so let's say we did this. And let's say that all I want to do is play the Immaculate Inning. What would this even look like? So let's get rid of this. And then get rid of this one. Get rid of Knuckleball. So let's see what types of stacks I would be getting here. I was air running the diversifier. All right, that's fine. We're basically forcing it anyway. So team stacks, Yankees, Milwaukee, KC, Minnesota, Washington. So this is pretty reasonable. I mean, if I want to just lock in these dudes, you know, maybe I will do that actually. So let's save these for now. So let's just save them in the. And we'll enter these. So you could force it to do what you want, but that's really not the way you're supposed to play. I guess that's pretty much all I had, except to say again, I mean, you should definitely take advantage of the late swapping. And I'm definitely doing that. All right, so tomorrow is going to be the Millie Maker thing. I'm definitely going to do a live stream at 11 p.m. To sweat the end of that.